Hello guys, I thought over the course of the next 7 days I would try reading 7 books, which is not going to happen if I make them regular length novels, because it's a normal work week. There's no days off or anything like that. Yes, reading is a hobby, yes, reading should be fun, but I don't know, putting pressure on myself at this point I feel like is my idea of fun. So, I have 7 books that I'm going to try reading starting tomorrow. It's Sunday late afternoon as I'm sitting here, and I thought I'd just give you the 7 books that I'm planning on reading. So I have 6 books here that I will definitely try to make be okay, well, 6 books of the 7 that I want to read, and then I have another 6 books here from which I will be picking one to make it 7. Yeah, 6 plus 1 equals 7. There you go. The first book I have here is First Love, Last Rites by Ian Mcewen, whose books, for the most part, I've really enjoyed, although as the books become more recent, I've enjoyed them less, unfortunately. This one, by the dark colouring of the pages, you can also notice, I picked up in a used bookshop years ago by now and never picked up. It's short story collections and written in 1975 or 1976, I believe. Oh yeah, there's the receipt of me buying it, and it's all 2015, 21st of March. That's today! Exactly 6 years ago, to the day. Ah, that's funny. I bought this book. I thought short stories would be really conducive to the challenge I'm setting myself, just to pace me a little bit. This one comes in at 125 pages, which is more than the average page count I read daily, but that's going to be true for all of these books. The next I have The Great Gatsby by, of course, F. Scott Fitzgerald, which is a classic. It comes in the, the Penguin English Library edition, which I really enjoy. I like how they look on the bookshelves, and I've never read it, so I thought I should. I bought this one, I also know when I bought this one 2 years ago. It also has the receipt in it. When did I buy this? April 10th, 2019. Almost 2 years ago. This is hilarious. I'm just showing you how bad I am at actually reading the books I bought. So yeah, I'm not going to really tell you what this is about. I think everyone knows what this is about except for me. So I will be reading this roaring 20s story. Oh, and my edition comes in at 152 pages, so that does not bode very well for me. Then, for Christmas, so a newer addition to my shelves, thank God, is Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own. My mum got this for me, and I believe this is actually more sort of like essay, but this edition also comes with... No, I'm fibbing. It really is just that essay, and that has relieving 93 pages only, so that's great. It's the Modern Classics edition with these sort of light blue limey edges, spines that is, so I will be looking forward to reading that. Continuing on in a sort of canon classics theme, I guess, I want to read Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse, which is a German book, written like in the 1920s, something like that. I believe it's set in India, and that is all I know. Then another book that I got very recently, finally, like maybe a good month ago, is Love by Janette Winterson. It's like one of these vintage minis, and just so cute. I've read maybe one other book by Janette Winterson, which I've really, really enjoyed. I know I like her writing style, or I trust that I like her writing style. And this one has 100 and something, 112, 13 pages. So I think this one is actually a really good one. Also, the pages are small, so I feel like there's, less word per minute. So I'm hoping this will work for me. And then the 6th book I have is How to Stay Sane in an Age of Division by Elif Shafak. who I think is a British-Turkish author. I don't know, I should have looked this up. British-Turkish novelist. Yay me! Who I've not read anything by, but I hear really, really great things. I must admit, I was just a sucker for this cover. I think it looks really great. And this one I bought towards the end of last year, I think. So we'll excuse me on that one. And it has 90 pages. So math is not my forte, but I'm sort of averaging that I will have to read a good solid 100 pages every day next week. Right. And then I have six unread Penguin Great Loves editions books here, and I will pick one of them depending on my mood. Maybe I'll do like an Instagram post, ask people which one they think I should go with. Maybe I will just have a look which one is the shortest, although they all seem pretty similar in size. So I will pick up one of these 6 to make it 7 all in all next week. I do have a few plans on the weekend, not like, you know, super intense plans. Who has those these days? But like, I don't have like loads of hours to catch up. But we'll see how it goes. I will read 7 books. I will read 7 books. Try to manifest that thought. And I'll, yeah, as of tomorrow, start checking in on you and see how it goes. Good morning. It's Monday morning, 7:25. And I've decided I'm going to start off my first book, How to Stay Sane in an Age of Division. I'm getting ready for work. Try to turn this hair into something that looks a bit more office appropriate, because for the first time in many weeks I am going into the office today. I have a few meetings that work better in person than via phone or something like that. So yeah, we just woke up. I'll get ready. This one I have tentative hopes that I will manage in one day, because it's only 90 pages, so if I really don't play around on my phone too much and get distracted by other things, then I can read this. I can read a little bit on my commute. I also don't work super late today, so wish me luck. Hey, it's 3 p.m. and I'm about to leave work, sitting in one of our work offices. I got to page 32 in How to Stay Sane in a well-divided, title's gone. Page 32, it has 90 pages, so I've done a third on my way to work. Now I'm gonna drive home via a detour. I have to go past the vet, so I should get another third. And then I have only 30 incy-wincy pages I have to fit in somewhere, so I'm on track if I leave and stop working now, which I feel like doing anyway. So see you in a bit. Hey, it's 4:30 and I just walked in at home, said hello to my dog, got her meds that she needs from the vets, and I'm on page 64 in How to Stay Sane in an Age of Division. So yeah, I perfectly read exactly the same amount of pages on my way back in the public transportation as on the way to. I haven't said anything about this really. Elif Shafak talks about very much like current days. She talks about the pandemic in this as well, which I was not expecting, to be honest. I hadn't really paid attention to when this was published. And she talks basically about like political turmoil, division between communities, different sort of societal beliefs, different nations, and great, yeah, dog cleaning herself in the background. And a funny thing is happening whilst reading this. The language is very metaphorical. There are a lot of sort of similes in here, imagery, and I'm not liking it. Somehow for the subject matter, I want it to be a bit more hard and fast, and I don't want as much flowery prose. So that's kind of surprising me. It was published, I kind of want to tell you when it's 2020. Okay, so that makes sense that she has some information on the pandemic already. As I said, page 64, I am now going to start with a chapter called Anger. After just having read the chapter Anxiety. And there were a few thoughts in there that I did find very interesting. I'm not going to say that like nothing about this is something that's sort of affecting me, making me think. But just on the whole, just not that great. Interesting bits in here, but I am not blown away. Just under 30 pages to go now, which I will read with my cuddly dog next to me. And yeah, then I'm so pleased. Monday I will finish, I'm convinced I will finish this book just now in the half hour that I have before hopefully my boyfriend will come home bearing dinner. And yeah, excellent. What a success. Okay, so in the privacy of my home, without the distraction of people walking around in the S-Bahn, public transportation in Berlin, I actually only needed 15 minutes to finish that up. And yeah, slightly underwhelmed. She talks about the importance of emotions. She talks about how we should be wary of becoming complacent, passive, apathetic, is that a word? To our current global political situation. But yeah, nothing really meaty in this book. I was expecting a bit more. So, seeing as, yay, I finished my first book super quickly today. So pleased. I'm walking around with kombucha in my hand, which I've gotten a bit obsessed with. I imagine it's very healthy, which it probably would be if there wasn't such a generous helping of sugar in this as well. Lost my train of thought there. Oh yeah. Because I finished my first book, it would only be wise, because tomorrow I have a longer work day for one, and I also have a dog training session. I thought it was only wise to start off with another book, and I think I will grab, there you go, you can't see I'm grabbing this from my book trolley. I think I'll start off with the Ian McEwan short stories, because then I can read one short story now. Doors. I feel like I made some progress there, and hope for, maybe I'll actually just use the short story collection that way throughout the course of the week, that I always like push in a short story when I find that I have time left. That seems smart. Also, reading a whole short story collection in one setting in one day seems like a bit of a shame. So yeah, I'll do that. Read one story, in there, drop the book. And so chuffed. First day. Don't want to get ahead of myself, only the first day, but also I was a bit afraid that I would already, in my first day, get myself into a bit of a pickle and have to then play catch up for the remainder of the week. So this is excellent. I just read the first short story, which is Homemade, in First Love, Last Rites, and it's super disturbing. So yeah, wasn't expecting that. Check this short story collection for trigger warnings if you're interested in picking up one of the older Ian McEwan books. I'm gonna digest this now. It seems so weird to say this, but it's like it's a short story about incest, basically. Ian McEwan's early writing I find so artfully crafted, and it's just so bizarre with such horrible content in this short story. So I'm not sure where this goes. I went into this totally blind, and we'll see where this goes. It says on the back, under Ian McEwan's manipulations, depravity may take on the guise of innocence, and butterflies can become sinister, which is true, but I just had no idea. So yeah, fair warning for this one. I guess after that I'll end. I won't power on to read a second short story. I'll do some dishes now. What a disturbing end to my actually nice way of coming back home and reading. I guess reading isn't always something that just pleasantly takes you out of everything. There you go. It's 9:15 and I read 5 pages in a room of one's own because I mixed up the days of the week, which is silly. My dog walker never picks up my dog on Tuesdays, and I'd totally forgotten about that, and thought I could just, you know, kick back on the sofa and read my book a bit. But then 5 pages in, I realised, oh no, wait a minute, Tuesday, I'm responsible for my own dog. So yeah, that was unfortunate. I read 5 pages. I also remembered that I read Orlando by Virginia Woolf. That's the only other book I read by her, and I didn't really enjoy it too much. So we'll see how this goes. I think the language you kind of have to get into. Wasn't really feeling it, but there was also like news playing up in the background on the radio, and this morning didn't turn out how I thought it would. I thought I could like have a tea and read for an hour. Instead I walked through the rain with my dog. Oh well, I'm gonna make myself some quick breakfast now, and then we do like a morning check-in call at work when people are in home office. Some people are in the office, it's a bit of a mix. So yeah. Oh well, 5 pages read of round about 100 that I need to read today, so that's going to be interesting. I work until 5, and then I have a dog training session with my dog because she's not great on the lead. And yeah, so I guess I have to read this evening. Okay, now I'm procrastinating. See you in a bit. Hey, it's 20 to 6 and I've finished work, and I've also read another 6 pages in A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. So I'm now on page 12. And I don't really get it. I don't know. She says hither and thither a lot, and she's talking a lot about the season around her, the nature around her, and the dinner party she's at. I don't get it. These are the moments when I wonder whether I don't get certain things because I didn't study literature. I am definitely going to, wait, let me check. It's like another 5 pages, 6 pages, until I finish chapter 1. 5 pages, I can do that. I'm going to read those whilst I cuddle with my dog, who my dog sitter / dog trainer forgot about today, so that's the reason why I'm already hanging out on the couch at 20 to 6. I should have been on my way out now to meet her so she can teach me how to tame the beast. Very beast-like, yeah. But she forgot me, so I can read this work of fiction. And yeah, if I find myself really not being able to read much more of that, I'm going to do the thing that I did yesterday, switch to a short story of Ian Mcewen, so that I stay on track with that as well. Wish me luck.
Gentle Steve, well, it's coming out for a look, but...
Alright, so I am about to go to bed and I'm a bit worried about hitting the goal today. I read 32 pages in A Room of One's Own, which were the first 2 chapters. I preferred the second chapter to the first, so I'm glad that I did push on a little bit. Now I'm not quite as reluctant to continue reading, but it's just not my style. I really want to like it because she's so sort of ahead of her times and, you know, a cool woman, but it's just dragging. And then while my boyfriend was sitting next to me playing Spider-Man on the PlayStation, which was kind of a nice background noise, to be honest, weirdly. I read the second short story in First Love, Last Rites. So that was like another 16 pages. 16 plus 32 equals 48. Okay, so only halfway there. So I'm going to go to bed now, and I think because the second short story that I read in this, I actually quite liked. It's called Solid Geometry. Again, his language is so beautiful, even if he writes about really messed up stuff. The second short story I didn't find quite as jarring as the first, but I'm not going to risk returning to one that, you know, knocks me off my feet quite as badly just before bed. So I think I will try to read a few more pages in this one and just accept that I might not finish at a chapter mark, which usually I'm really uptight about that kind of stuff, and I only ever finish it, like put a book aside if I finished a chapter, but that would mean reading another 15 pages, which doesn't sound like much, but with the language I'm struggling, and I might just fall asleep whilst reading it, to be honest. Yeah, 2 books that are both not grabbing my attention, and I can hear you shouting in the background, DNF them, life's too short to read books you aren't enjoying, but I feel like one should read A Room of One's Own, and I really want to read books by Ian Mcewen when he was still writing about deep human upset and emotion and wasn't writing shitty books about robots, which was one of the last books of his that I'd actually DNF'd, so that's saying something. So we're going to push through. Also, you know, 7 books, 7 days. I really want to make that happen. Yeah, the evening was a really disjointed, weird one. My boyfriend and I have developed a weird obsession for a vet show, Dr. K's Exotic Animals. So that swallowed some of my time. We watched a bit of snooker and got hung up on WWE wrestling as well at some point. So cool what they are doing with obviously they can't have a live audience and they have all these screens. You still have to pay obviously, but then there's this online live audience. Pretty cool. Super random, didn't get to read that much, and I think I was also jumping at the chance of getting distracted, to be honest. So yeah, I'm ready for bed, teeth are brushed, sleeping stuff, pajamas on, and dog is staring at me, wondering whether I'm going to stay here or go to bed. So I'm going to go to bed. See you tomorrow, guys. So I did a little overview thingy of the books that I'm going to read and how many pages they have. I sort of averaged out how long one of these would be because I haven't decided which one of those to read as my 7th book yet, as you know. And that will result in me having to read roughly 120 pages every day. So on Monday, I was under that by reading sort of 100-ish pages, and yesterday I was definitely under it with reading 60-ish pages, so not going well, guys, not going well. So yeah, I'm going to crack on a bit today now. You see me in serious Wednesday morning vibes. This is what I try to do to sort of just laze around a bit longer because I have to work until 8 p.m, maybe even a bit longer today, we'll see. Good morning, it's my good morning hair. Hey, I've read just over 50 pages. I read a chapter in A Room of One's Own, and I read 2 short stories in the Ian Mcewen book, which, wow, that's a messed up book. Again, let me remind you of trigger warnings. It's about to turn 12, so I have to get out from bed where I was lying and reading, and start work tired. This is not good. It's not good feeling tired before work even starts. But my office WhatsApp group is already popping up, and off we go. It's 5:30 and I'm making myself food to eat at the absolutely preferred time I like eating. Really early dinner instead of lunch and dinner. I like to have loads of early dinner. My dog, of course, comes to check out the scene. So I'm going to have some pasta now and then go back to work. It's about to turn 10 and I finished A Room of One's Own. So I finally now know what that actually means, a room of one's own. So just for that fact, I thought it was worthwhile to read this important text, but I didn't think it was fun. I just don't love her language. So I'm just going to peg that one down to stubbornness and wanting to finish the book. I, on the whole, want to become better at DNFing books. This is now not the week where I'm going to practice that skill. So that means that I read how many pages? I don't know. I think like I'm around the 70 mark. Is that right? Now I'm quite tired. I told you I slept quite poorly last night. So I'm boiling water in the background. You can probably hear that. I'm going to make myself a hot water bottle because I'm feeling a bit, well, with this hot water bottle that my mum got me once. And then I'm going to go to bed, guys. Good morning, it's 8 AM on Thursday and I'm about to go to work. Yesterday I ended up reading 81 pages. I just counted. I finished A Room of One's Own, which has amazing content, but I didn't love the language. And I read a few more short stories in Ian McEwan's First Love, Last Rights, which has super dodgy, disturbing content, but language that I love. So that's a weird pair. Yes, that means that I'm entering day 4 of the week and I've read 2 books. So not great. I'll finish this. I'm taking this on my commute with me today. And I'm not going to take a second book because I've just seen that The Great Gatsby is on my Scribd app. So I just will have that on my phone if I should end up finishing the short stories quicker than anticipated. Yeah, I gotta go. I have a weird sort of divided up day. I am going to the office now, then leaving around 3-ish, and then I'm working from home in the evening again. So I'll have to fit in my reading in a creative way. Yeah, good morning. Hope you slept well. Have a good start to your day. Hello, darling. Hello. Am I home finally? Finally. Oh, the office. I go to the office. Was it really boring? Nah. Hey, it's at 4:30. I just got home. I did a little bit of shopping on my way home, and I have to start working again in 2 hours. So in those 2 hours, I should somehow eat something, make myself something to eat. I will also read a little bit. I am now a few pages into the nominal First Love, Last Rights short story. And I read a short story on my way to work, which was about a man who was treated by his mother like a baby to like 17, 18 years old, and she more or less cast him out. That was really quite tough to read as well. All of these stories are. So now I'm on page 92. And my book has 125 pages. 30 pages. I'll be able to read that. I'm not sure if I'll be able to concentrate very well now. Actually, I'm a bit shot and I need to preserve my energy to a certain degree because I need to jump back into work for a few hours this evening. I really don't like how my day is divided up on Thursdays. Salad leaves, boiled potato, ow, ow. some sweet corn, some goat's cheese, some dressing. This is my end result. The goat's cheese is slowly melting because the sweet potato was still warm. You can eat this. It's 6ish now, and then I have to go back to work at 6:30. I have my first call appointment. Guten Appetit. Good morning, it's Friday 8 AM and I had a bit of a lie in. I finished First Love Last Rites yesterday night, reading 51 pages yesterday, so I'm really gonna have to play catch up at the weekend. I've got to go out with my puppy, with my dog. Now I have some breakfast and then of course I start work. I have a home office day. So my reading will probably concentrate, excuse me, will probably concentrate on a bit of the afternoon. I'm probably going to head over to a flower shop in the late afternoon, get some things, we'll see, I really want to. Few words maybe to First Love Last Rites, so I didn't just say I finished it. Every story has some really disturbing element, which I was not expecting given, you know, the title, the cover, and because of that, I think I wouldn't ever really recommend this to anyone, even though I think the writing is stellar. I really think this is amazing writing. It's one of Ian McEwan's earlier works. I always claim that my favourite book of his is Enduring Love, although I also really like Atonement, and there are a few I haven't read, obviously. I've never read any short stories by him, although On Chesil Beach, which I also love, is short. Does it count as a novella? I don't know. It's I want to say it's not sort of, it's around the like 120 page mark maybe, I'm not sure. So shorter fiction is also something I think he's great at. All these stories have a lot to do with sort of the devious side of attraction. I don't really want to say love. And he just, in his writing, in the imagery he creates, really makes you feel a bit uncomfortable, sort of as if he's just sort of ignoring taboos and just ploughing on through them. The first story, which I did tell you about very briefly when I read it, was by far the sort of most outright taboo. It is a sort of incestuous short story, 2 siblings. But all the other stories also have elements about them that will make you feel unsure whether you should be enjoying the writing. So tread very lightly with this one. If you feel unsure whether this will be your thing, just don't read it. There are plenty of books. But I'm really quite eager to find out how Ian McEwan's writing has developed over the years. As I've told you, I don't really like his newer books too much. So I finished that one. That means it's now Friday and I've read 3 books. I should be on like 4, having started my 5th. So this is going to be interesting. Hey, it's 3 p.m. I'm going to have some lunch, and start reading Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. Yeah, I read 1 page so far. Some point during my work day when I was sort of distracted. But now I'm going to sit down and properly read it. I think it's going to be a really unusual read for me, not a book I tend to read. But yeah, I'm excited for this. Excited for my lunch, especially. It doesn't look as nice as I thought it would. Oh well. Bon appetit, and see you in a bit. Hey, it's 9:30. I'm home. I didn't buy any plants. I also didn't film in the plant store thing because it was way too trendy and I would have felt embarrassing filming. I'm on page 45 in Siddhartha from 157 pages all in all, which is not great because I'm feeling tired. I had a pizza. Could go to bed now, really. Yeah, what else can I tell you about the day? Not much. What can I tell you about this book? I do indeed feel like that pretentious 16-year-old who's decided he's going to read Hermann Hesse. So, you know, it's about Siddhartha and his way to finding... yes, English vocabulary eludes me right now. Basically, he's just met with Buddha, and it's about Siddhartha and his friend Govinda and their path to their spiritual path. It is so not a book that has my name on it. I've had this not very, I don't know, aesthetically pleasing copy for many years. I think my mum got it me at some point, and I don't even really know. She probably just thought it's like a German classic and here you go, daughter, read that. But I'll have to ask her why she thought this would interest me in particular. Yeah, loads of people read this in school. Good morning. It's Saturday morning, 20 to 8. I need to get up slowly because I am actually meeting a friend at 10. And it's going to take me quite a long time to get there, actually. Living in a city, you need 3/4 of an hour to get to absolutely every point. That is science. I got to page 82. Where is it? In Siddhartha yesterday evening, falling asleep in between pages. I was really knackered. And what do I think of it? It's an easier read than I was expecting. But yeah, the story of Siddhartha finding himself is just not really my jam. I'm finding it really difficult to talk about it in English, to be honest, because it's a German book. So somehow vocabulary is evading me. He talks about Entselbstung a lot is the word he's using, which is that even a German word? I think he made it up. It like deselfifying. I don't know. It sounds just as stupid as in German as it does in English, to be honest. So yeah, I'm gonna finish it because I think it's an interesting book to have read because I am really lacking in having read German classics. In school, we didn't actually read that many classics, to be honest. We read like quite a lot of sort of like popular like bestsellers, like current bestsellers, really, and we didn't even read that many books, like fiction books. We sort of read more sort of plays, and we did like a lot of poetry and stuff like that. So I think it's fair enough to read Hermann Hesse, even though I'm not like, I wouldn't full-heartedly recommend it. Just the content is not really mine. I'm gonna get up now. I'm going to take Hermann Hesse with me as I sit in the underground for a long time. And then what are my plans today? I think I'm going to attempt a second run on another like garden center. I want some plants for my very dark hallway, so I need advice on which plants can deal with little sunlight. And then my boyfriend luckily is gonna take my dog for much of the day, and then in the evening he's not gonna be here, so then it'll be my turn to take care of the dogs a little bit. So yeah, I have a bit of a free pass for the first half of the day. I'm gonna have dinner with a friend, potentially. Still trying to find out like how socially distanced we can do that. Yeah, should be a good Saturday. Good morning.
Nächste Station, Bornholmer Straße. Übergang zu den S-Bahn-Linien 2, 8 und 85.
Hey, it's 5:15. The dogs want food. I've just been like hanging on the sofa for half an hour, not doing much at all, to be honest. I got home. I'm on page 104 in Siddhartha, and I've just realised it's Saturday, and I'm on my 4th book. So I was like super optimistic. I was talking to a friend yesterday evening saying like, I'd be fine, I'm definitely doing 7 and 7. Book 4, day 6. It's not good, Faye. It's not good. So I can read a few more pages of that. I also, can I show you this in a smart way, went to a plant store. A little look-see in here. Which I won't plant now. I'll do that tomorrow. Because I am having dinner with a friend. So gonna feed the dogs, probably just like bumble around here for another half hour and then leave. Yeah, read a few more pages. What have I done with this day? Not much. Well, I did go to a garden centre with a friend and that was really lovely. But yeah, not that much reading. So, shall I feed you? Yeah. Dog feeding time. Oh, and one more thing that was delivered, obviously whilst I was out, is how do I preface this? In an attempt to combine and marry 2 interests of mine and my boyfriend's, he really likes animes, I like reading. I suggested a buddy read and we agreed on Attack on Titan. So the first 5 Attack on Titan animes were delivered whilst I was away, and I'm going to take a sneak peek into these because he knows what they look like anyway. So they're in the German translation, and yeah, looks like an anime to me. A manga, sorry, manga. It's an anime if it's on TV, apparently. I'm learning. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited for those. I think it's like a dystopian setting, town. I don't actually know. They've built this huge wall to keep the Titans out. I'm intrigued. So we'll see. Maybe we'll do that next weekend. Read those together over the Easter weekend. We'll see how that goes. I think it's pretty fun. Yeah, dogs have settled down because I gave them food. And I'm going to read a few pages in this before I get ready. It's 20:11 now. I have 12 pages left in Hermann Hesse I read before I left when I last checked in with you. And now I'm home. I had a very nice mango curry and decent rice. If my friend is watching this, I'll giggle about him a little bit. I've reached the sort of not compendium, like almost like deleted scenes at the back of this book. Kind of strange. I'm not quite sure if that is like artistic freedom or if it's actually, I think it's actually sort of just different variants of the story and how they were published. So I'm going to read the last 12 pages, and then as the 6th day of the week comes to a close, I will finish my 4th book, which is not great. So therefore, I've got Janette Winterson's, with the glare of the light, can't we see that? Janette Winterson's Love next to my bed as well, which I'll try to read like 2 pages just so that I have a feel for the tone and I've started a book. And yeah, I hope The Great Gatsby is a quick read, guys. Okay, I'm gonna start reading now because my boyfriend is also going to be home any minute now, and then the dogs will be excited and I will be excited. And then, yes. Wow, I'm in a state of mind where I'm not sure if I'm going to manage 12 pages. Good morning, it's 8 a.m. and I've read the first 10 pages in Janette Winterson's Love, and it makes me want to read Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit. I haven't read that, and she talks about that in her first little essay in this. So yeah, really liking the writing style. It's very personal. I didn't know that. And yeah, I think I'll read this one quickly. I am, however, about to get into the bath now. Yeah, just have like a slow good morning. I'm hopefully going to buy 2 chairs today. It's Sunday, but I found like 2 used chairs online that I'm hoping to buy, and I'll have to pick up some point in the afternoon, so I'll see when I do that. But other than that, no like huge plans really. Yeah, gonna have a bath. Not reading in the bathtub. I'm petrified of doing that. Weird sounds. Pipes. I'm more scared of dropping stuff in the water, so I won't do that. I'll listen to a podcast and tell you in a little bit how I liked this. Having an insane amount of English breakfast and watching what is it? Nighthawk and Winter. I'll tell you later, can't remember. I'm too excited about this. So we had a huge English breakfast, watched The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I do not know why I didn't realise what that was called earlier on. I'm on page 60 in Janette Winterson's book, and she's writing about her previously published works, which is cool, but also makes me think I would get more out of this if I had actually read her books. I've only read one, which was a sort of like sci-fi one. Don't remember the name. Again, my memory doesn't seem to be working great today. So yeah, page 60. I'll definitely get through this. This is a quick read, short essays about her books that she's written, but I'm not sure how I'm going to tackle 2 other books today. I think I will try to somehow panic find one of the books that I have as options on audiobook, because then the plants that I got yesterday that I still want to like not repot, put in pots in the first place. How do you call that? Well, then I could listen to the audiobook whilst doing that. Also, on my Instagram stories, I asked which one of my 6 choices I should pick, and so far Tolstoy has been endorsed, which is not great because it's one of the slightly longer ones of the options with 141 pages. I think I'm either going to go for the shortest to make life easy for myself, or I will read the first sentence, like not try a chapter tag, but like try a sentence tag and just go with whatever sentence I like the best. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm gonna push on with Janette Winterson a little bit so that I stand a chance to somehow manage these. We'll see. We just went and got these 2 used chairs, which I really like, and they will serve as well in the kitchen, hopefully. This dog is very hopeful that her bowl will be filled, but no such luck. Alright, it's 3:30 and I still need to read 2 books. One of those I want to be The Great Gatsby. Not sure. I'm really hoping it's a quick read. I'm not happy that I left that as one of my last books for Sunday. And then I have these 6 that I talked you through, and I'm just gonna read the first page of every single one. I've ordered them according to page, and this is the longest. Leo Tolstoy's The Kreutzer Sonata, which has gotten some endorsement on Instagram, and it's the longest, so I am not rooting for this one. And it starts with 2 quotes, which I'll just ignore. Why not? First sentence. This took place in early spring. Okay. Second, Dumblav by Virgil, who knows? Book 1 of Gods and Angry Seas. I am that poet who in times past made the light melody of pastoral poetry. Which is a sort of like little quotey thing. And then the first sentence is, this is a tale of arms and of a man. Not loving it, gotta be honest. Moving on swiftly to Thomas Hardy, A Mere Interlude. Great title. First sentence. The traveller in school books, who vouched in driest tones for the fidelity to fact of the following narrative, used to add a ring of truth to it by opening with a nicety of criticism on the heroine's personality. None of that went into my brain just now. So let's move on to D.H. Lawrence, The Virgin and the Gypsy. I've read a D.H. Lawrence book. Isn't D.H. Lawrence the one with Lady Chatterley's lover? Yes, he is. And that I loved. I read and loved. As a teenager. Weird choice of mine. Oh well. First sentence in the Virgin and the Gypsy. When the vicar's... Whoa, there's like a tongue twister. When the vicar's wife went... That's great. When the vicar's wife went off with a young and penniless man, the scandal knew no bounds. So far my favourite. Magnetism by F. Scott Fitzgerald, which would be funny because then I would be reading 2 F. Scott Fitzgerald books today, which might not be a great choice. Chapter 1, The Sensible Thing. At the Great American Lunch Hour, young George O'Kelly straightened his desk deliberately and with an assumed air of interest. Yeah, I just secretly wanted to read on to the second sentence, so that's also an excellent sentence. And then the shortest book of the 6 options is Giacomo Casanova's Of Mistresses, Tigresses, and Other Conquests. And the first sentence goes as follows. The chapter or story is The Freedom of Man. I begin by informing my reader that for everything good or bad that I have done throughout my life, I am certain I have always earned due approbation or reproof, and must therefore consider myself a free man. I am tending towards a light Magnetism by F. Scott Fitzgerald, the guy on a chair, and I liked The Virgin and the Gypsy, the woman who went off with the vicar, and let's say D.H. Lawrence because I don't want to do 2 Fitzgeralds in one day. All these covers are amazing, and I think it would be cool to read a D.H. Lawrence book, seeing as I did like the book that I read of his many, many moons ago. So, I will read 10 pages of this or so. I don't know, the chapters or something. Oh no, this does not bode well. Okay. I'll just try to read 10 pages so I feel like I've started off. And then I'm going to hopefully find The Great Gatsby as an audiobook in my Scribd app. I have a feeling that I did see that. That would be great because then I can listen to that whilst potting my plants. Okay, it's 4:20. You hear dogs eating in the background. I read the first 20 pages in The Virgin and the Gypsy and like it. Quick read following the family, I believe, of the vicar who's left by his wife and his 2 daughters especially. So curious for that. Now I really need to clean the kitchen. I'm trying to angle this in a way that you don't see the absolute chaos. And I will start listening to The Great Gatsby, which I did find as an audiobook. The audiobook takes 5 hours, which surprises me, seeing as it's not a very long book. So we'll see. I tend to listen to audiobooks most comfortably at 1.5 times the original speed. If I listen to it in the original speed, I find myself not paying attention, wandering off, it's too slow, and sort of double the speed is too fast. So I'll give that a go. What would that be? 5 hours would then effectively take me 3 hours and something? Math. Sorry. So we'll see. I'll start cleaning, listen to that, and hopefully make a huge dent into the audiobook. We'll see. Hey, it's 7:20 and I'm a third through The Great Gatsby. I'm on page 50 of 150. I listened to the audiobook, and I would be further on if my dad hadn't called me, which was a good reason to not be able to listen to all of it. He called me and we had a chat for an hour, so that slowed me down. I also planted this new flower that, oh, coincidence, was next to me as I'm sitting here. Cleared up the bathroom, the kitchen that I'm in right now, so it's not so horrible if you end up seeing stuff in the background because I clean it up, yippee. Also cleared up the hallway a little bit, but there's still stuff that needs to go. But second plant that I potted and will hopefully deal with standing in the hallway that doesn't get a lot of sunlight, because yeah, hallway, not a lot of windows. So yeah, productive. I planted one more echinacea, is that what it called? No. Damn. Planted one more plant, but that is standing right next to my boyfriend's face, who is currently playing Spider-Man on PlayStation, and it's loud. So yeah, I have the dishwasher running. It's a very noisy evening here. Yeah, but I think I'm quite enjoying The Great Gatsby, actually. A third in, somehow I've managed to avoid actually finding out what happens in the story. I haven't watched any movie, I haven't read the book, obviously. So I'm quite enjoying it, like the tone of the narrator as well. The narrator of the story, that is, the narrator of the audiobook, take it or leave it. So I think I'll listen to that a little bit more. No, I won't. I'm a third through, I'm going to stop now. I also want to stop cleaning up. I've done enough. And I'm going to head back to D.H. Lawrence, because I have 2 books on the go, don't I? So I think I will make myself a sandwich and read some more D.H. Lawrence. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. It's 10:15 and I finished The Virgin and the Gypsy and really enjoyed it. The title tells you what it's about. To spoil you a little bit, the ending is somewhat unexpected. I really enjoyed it. The last 20 pages I was like very confused. It very much took a direction that I wasn't expecting. I really liked the language. Yes, a lot of it is quite dated. This was published in 1930, although I believe it was published after D.H. Lawrence died, and written a few years before it was published. Yeah, wholeheartedly recommend. I'm kind of glad that I went with the book that just sort of grabbed me the most, just going by the first sentence. Having read it, I'm going back to when the vicar's wife went off with a young and penniless man, the scandal knew no bounds. And now I'm reading that sentence with more context, having read the story. Yes, very enjoyable. Maybe so far the book I've enjoyed the most out of all the books that I read this week so far. Yeah, actually, surprising one. And then chocolate is keeping my space in The Great Gatsby. I have 90-ish, bit under 90 pages left in The Great Gatsby, which we'll see. My boyfriend, I think, is coming towards the end of some 90s sci-fi movie that he's watching. The Greater Realm? No. Greater Edge? No. Don't know. Wasn't paying attention. So I'm going to listen to a bit of The Great Gatsby still, I think, and really try to finish it today. If I don't manage to read the 7 books in 7 days because of 20 pages, I'll be really bummed out. So I'm gonna try and push on. Really funny reading The Great Gatsby and The Virgin and the Gypsy sort of next to each other, switching back and forth between the two. Although I did sit down with The Virgin and the Gypsy and I basically read I read the first 20 pages or so, which I told you about, and then I just sat down and read the rest. So I read the last 100 pages just in one sitting. Really quite enjoyable. And The Great Gatsby is also really quite well written. So yeah, 2 good picks there. I'll stop rambling now, otherwise I run the danger of not finishing my goal. Yeah, just thought I'd let you know that it's going well. Hey, it's 12:30 and I just finished The Great Gatsby. Yippee! My boyfriend's asleep, so I'm trying to be quiet. I'll check in with you tomorrow and give you a little roundup. Good night. Hi guys, it's 3:30-ish now and I've just finished my shorter Monday work day, and I thought I'd check in and talk about last week with you. I read these 7 books, 7 of the shortest books on my shelves. So all in all, that added up to, summed up to mean reading 851 books in that week, which I'm pretty chuffed with. I had to catch up on the weekend. In order, I read How to Stay Sane in a World in Division, which I was slightly disappointed with. Would give this a sort of non-plus 3-star rating. I read these two more or less at the same time. A Room of One's Own and First Love, Last Rites. These two I loved and hated sort of for perpendicular reasons. I thought the content of this was so revolutionary, amazing ideas, so ahead of her times, but also so much stream of consciousness. Can you please stop describing this tree and the meal you are currently eating? And this one, so dodgy when it comes to content, but the language was the Ian Mcewen that I love. So for both of those, possibly, I don't know, that's a really tricky one. How do you rate those? Because in many ways I would want to give this like a 4-star rating just because of the worth of the book, but I didn't enjoy reading it at all, really. And this one I enjoyed reading, but I'm, as far as short stories go, I'm like, maybe not like a 3.5-star rating. Unsure. Siddhartha channeled my inner 16-year-old German girl vibe with reading this book. Much more readable than I was expecting it to be honest. But an unnecessary little tale. I don't know. Also 3 stars? I don't know. Do I give it less than 3 stars? Am I so bold as to say Hermann Hesse gets less than 3 stars? Yeah, sure, why not? 2 stars, Siddhartha, why bother? Love by Janette Winterson really made me want to read more by Janette Winterson because her language is great, but she talks about her books that she's written and I haven't read any of those. I've only read the Stone Gods, I think it's called, which I loved. So I should definitely check out more by her. Really short, quick read, cute book obviously as well. Did make me less sure whether I wanted to read more books in this series. This series just has famous, well-known authors write about different words like desire, language, work, drinking. And seeing as how personal this was to her, I'm guessing I'd only want to read books by authors in this collection, in these editions that I'm also interested in. And then finally, I spent my Sunday reading these 2 books, which I really liked the most. Oh, rating for love, like maybe also 3, because I like the language, but it's not sticking with me. And I really loved D.H. Lawrence, The Virgin and the Gypsy. Sort of spontaneously want to give that 4 stars. And The Great Gatsby, sort of alternating between 3 and 4 stars. Thought this was quite a sort of rompy, fun, quick book, which most of this I listened to on audiobook on Sunday, but also I don't really get the fuss, if I'm perfectly honest. Why is this such a huge classic? Tell me. So those were the 7 books. I'm going to run and go out whilst it's still sunny outside and start my week off in a bit more of a chilled manner, reading the books that I am just currently reading without stressing myself out about reading short books. I do really like short books, so even though I obviously chose this so that I would have a chance in reading 7 books in 7 days, I tend to enjoy shorter stories more than really, really lengthy, meandering, epic tales. So this was a really fun tale. This was a really fun challenge for me. I gotta go. If I can't get my words out properly anymore, it's time for me to get some oxygen after being cooped up indoors all day for work. Bye guys. I had a really fun time. Let me know why Great Gatsby is such an epic classic. Maybe I'll be convinced. Have a good one. Bye.